Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. So, I'm new to YouTube and here to talk about life, but the main topic is marriage. What happens after the beautiful gown and the I do's and the vows itself? After the wedding, what happens to the marriage? I've been married 18 years and it's always been hard to talk about what I've experienced 18 years. I got married at the age of 22, I think. Yeah, I think it's 22. And it had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs. But for the best part, we tried everything to make it work. Everything to make it work. The first time I ever eat ramen noodles was with my husband. Ramen noodles and tuna mixed together was with my husband. Because I didn't know what it was to eat those things. They were foreign to me. Because my mom would cook a pot for her and she would cook a pot separate for me. So that was my norm. And when I got married, that was no longer my norm. We had to eat what we could afford. We had this beautiful wedding. Everything pulled out. All my bosses put money together, put funds together, bought our wines. My mom, she did her part. My mother-in-law, they did their part. We did our part. And we were ready. We were ready to embark on this new journey. So we decided that our first year we would live with our mom, with my mom, and then from there we would go to rent our own apartment, just to save some money. And eventually he got tired of not being a man in his home. He didn't feel comfortable. So me being the submissive wife, I was like, okay, be ready to go. Let's do this. We're going to bite the bullet together. We all for one and one for all and all for one. So we moved into our first apartment. And I will not tell you a lie. Our bedroom set from my mom's house couldn't fit. But God sent people in our lives to outfit a one bath apartment. We had front room set, dinette, we had bar chairs, we had bedroom set, TV in both rooms, and bed for our kids. It was awesome because he met me with a son and we had a daughter. So it was great. It was, great. We hit some hard times, but we still managed to stay together and stuck together. And, we knew how to pray. The most foremost thing was like knowing how to pray. And we were in the church and praising God and fasting and all those things. It was awesome. And I'll stick a pin right here. It's nothing like when you believe in God and try to push wholeheartedly for your marriage and for God to make a way for you and your children. And it was good then. And then I started to work in a hotel for about 3 years. And things were good. Things were good. The money was, from hand to mouth, but we managed to keep food on the table and clothes on our kids' back. So it was good. And I tried to get promotions at work, and no matter how hard I tried, I failed. But I cried out to God for a job that I wanted, my desire. And years went by. I got tired of ironing the same old uniform, and I was keep on praying to God. I said, God, this job that I want is my heart desire. And if it's not my heart desire, do not give it to me. And, I just left it there until one day my apostle prayed for me and one of my childhood friends and told us that the job is ours. And we never told him that we applied for a job, but he just said that the job was ours. And we both got called in, and the job was ours. I lost her about 2 years ago to cancer. And she fought a good fight. Yeah. So, with me being on the job my first year, my desire was, okay, it's time for a home. And came on a job making almost little to nothing. But it was secure because it was a government entity. And we push and we push and we push. And my first year out of training, I got the call to come and sign for our apartments. And God is and was truly awesome. And at that time, we were still in our first apartment. So my brother moved us out into his apartment. And his apartment was real big. And he told us to stay there until our apartment was ready. And that was just like blessings and favor. It's nothing like moving in God's timing. Yeah. Moving in God's timing. So we stayed there until it was time for us to move in ours. And we blessed as we went along. We may have not had much, but we blessed. Because I believe, and I was taught at an early age, it is better to give than to receive. Excuse me. And so we moved down to our home. It was taskful getting there. We had break-ins, things removed from us the first time before we moved, and after we moved, We had another break in where all my jewelry was gone. But God's still awesome because it could have been my life, it could have been our kids' life. So vanity doesn't really matter. So as time went by, my husband became a workaholic, starting his new business and still working for another company. And I wanted more of him, you know. I wanted to be in his arms a lot. I just wanted more of him. I wanted his mind, his body, and his heart. Nothing else mattered. I just wanted my husband. But it's so amazing is now being so experienced now, we didn't know each other's love language. And I think that hurt us tremendously. Like, he worked doing air condition and he wanted me to support him. I was his biggest supporter, talking about him and trying to bring business to him, but that's not what he wanted. He wanted me to be his supporter in being there and being on the job. I had little time to do that because of work. And when I would perform at work, he had little time to be there because of his work. So we both were looking for support in that aspect. We spoke about a lot of things, but a lot of things were not spoken. And after years went by, it was like we were moving in a standstill position. Like, you go to work, I go to work. We get the kids ready for school, make their breakfast, we pick them up. And that was the routine. I would cry out on many occasions, asking him for date night, you know, let's put down these phones. And you guys, these cell phones are actually the devil because it can draw you and your partner so far apart. You think that you're in the bed spending time with your partner, but you're actually spending time with your phone. It's hard to believe, but this is what happens. So we had another child 4 years after. So it was like every 4 years I was getting pregnant, more or less. For a total of 4 kids. We would go away, we'll have little vacations, and it seemed to be all good. But that one thing I wanted from him was the hardest thing ever to get. I would cry for it, I would beg for it, but I couldn't seem to get it. It's so hard to talk about because it's been some rough moments in our marriage. But when persons would look at me on the outside, they would think that we had the best marriage ever. And see, people get mixed up and messed up when they think it's about the glitter and the glam, the diamonds and the jewelry and the nice cars and the romantic dinners and, you know, it ain't all about that, bro. It just ain't all about that. So it's more or less like you said, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and health, till death do us part. Gents, ladies, I advise you, when you listen to this story, take it from me. Would you actually say, I do? This is part 1 of a series. I know you would have questions. So please subscribe, like, share if you want to. And I will tell you all about my life. Would you actually say, I do? Until next time, peace, love, joy, and prosperity to all of you. Bye.